Hi girls, my name is Miranda. Welcome back to the Junior Gardener Badge. Last week we did steps 1 and 2. This week we're going to do steps 3 and 4, and then you can do step 5 on your own. So for the Junior Gardener Badge, you were supposed to get thinking about what kind of gardens you like. You were supposed to visit a garden in step 1. In step 2, you were supposed to design your own garden by making a collage. For step 3, you're going to start to learn about different plants. So for this step, the best way to complete it is for you to research and find 6 plants that grow in your hardiness zone. If you don't want to do that, the other option is to find 6 plants that grow in different ways: 2 seeds, 2 bulbs, and 2 roots. So that's the step that I did. So for example, I made a list here. And I have plants that come from seeds. I have sunflower and zinnias. For bulbs, I have tulips and crocus. And for roots, I have carrots and radishes. So those are the examples that I found. So of course, I'd want you to look for different examples, but that's how you would complete that step. So really that step is getting you thinking about the different way that plants and vegetables and flowers all come into existence and the different things that you can get with bulbs, seeds, or roots. And that's how you complete step 3. For step 4, you're going to start experimenting with seeds. So for this step, I have an egg carton. If you don't have this at home, you can use cups. This is just easy because they're all divided. But you can, if you have something else, you can use like some cups and then replant them later. Also, these little compostable little pots that actually go in the ground, these are great too. But an egg carton is the easiest. And then what I did is I have some seed starting potting mix. If you have dirt, you can just use dirt. You can use soil outside. So to make it a little easier for me, I poured some of the potting mix into a little cup, and I have a tablespoon stuck in there. And then I just took an empty water bottle and I filled it up with some tap water so I can be ready to water what I'm going to do. So for this step, you're going to need 12 seeds in an egg carton. So any seeds will do. So I have a variety here. I have everything from vegetables to different flowers, whatever you have. So kind of look through your stuff, see what you have available, and use that. So for step 4, it's up to you. You can do one of the 3 experiments, and either one that you do will complete this step. If you want to do all of them, go right ahead and do all of them. So for the first one, it's experiment with soil. So in two sections of the carton, you're going to put 2 tablespoons of soil. In the next 2 sections, you're only going to put 1 tablespoon of soil. You're going to add 1 seed to each of the sections, cover the seeds with some, and add a little water every day. So for this experiment, you're going to see the ones that you put a lot of soil in versus the ones that you didn't put very much soil, which ones did better. So that's how you can complete that step 4 and be done with that. If you want to take it further or choose a different one, you can experiment with water. Put 2 tablespoons of potting soil into all of the 4 sections. And when they say sections, they mean you know, you're splitting it up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Any way you want to split it up. Okay. You're going to put water in there, and you're going to water 2 sections every day, but only water the other 2 sections every 3 days. So half of it you'd be watering every day, the other half you'd be watering every 3 days. And then you'd be noting and tracking and observing what's going on in there. That's one way that you can complete step 4. So you can do the soil experiment, you can do the water experiment, or lastly, you can do the sunlight experiment. So you're going to put 2 tablespoons of potting soil and a seed into each of the sections, cover half of it with paper cups, and add the same amount of water every day. So what you're doing is you're doing everything the same, but you're keeping half of it covered with some kind of paper cup. You're going to keep half of it covered. So only half is getting sun and the other half isn't. So you could do either one of those 3 things to complete step 4, or you can do them all. It's totally up to you. So some things that you should be keeping track of: how long does it take for the leaves to start poking through the dirt? Does each section look the same? Which plants did best? You know, how much water should you have put? Did the ones that you watered every day do better than the ones that you only watered every 3 days? Those are the questions that you should start thinking about. So if you have some paper or an old notebook from school or a journal, you can start tracking your observations in there. So for example, I'll do one with you so you can see. And you don't have to do all 12. You know, it's totally up to you. But if you have the seeds and you have the ingredients, why not? So what we're going to do is I'll do the soil. So I am going to put 1 tablespoon of soil over here, but over here, I'm going to do 2. So when you put 2, it actually fills the cup right up. So only putting 1 only fills that egg section up about halfway, but when you put 2, it comes all the way to the top. So I'm going to do this rather quickly. So this would be 1 and this would be 2. And if I wasn't videotaping and I was taking my time, I would probably do the middle a different way. Maybe do just a regular amount or maybe 1.5. So then I'm going to get my seeds. I'm going to go for some that are open. All right. Now I want to know how they did. So it's not going to make sense for me to only put daisies over here and to not put daisies over here. We want to know the difference and we want to know which did better. So because I'm doing that, I am going to put daisies on the left side and I'm going to push my seeds in a little bit. So I'm going to put daisies on the left side. And then I am going to see what else we have here. Sunflowers. So I'm going to put sunflowers on the right side. So that is going to tell me that I can be able to go back and compare how they did. And these seeds look completely different. So it should be easy to track. And make sure when you're planting your seeds, you're looking at the back of them to see how long they take, the suggested spacing. So when you do take them out of here, when you do start seeing them growing and you want to transplant them and put them in your yard, you'll want to make sure that you follow the directions on the back of the packet. Okay, so I have on the left, I have daisies, and on the right, I have sunflowers. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover them up with some more potting mix. Now the ones over here are going to have a lot more soil. So what do we think is going to happen? I'm not even sure. Are we going to have more nutrients in the bottom versus the one on the left? So as you can see here, this one is super filled up. This one's about halfway. And just in case I forget, I have myself a marker and I am going to make sure that I did a D for daisies on the left and an S for sunflowers. So D and S. And then I have my water here, so I'm just going to water just a little bit. And I am doing the step for the soil experiment. So maybe if I really wanted to, I could go get myself another egg carton and I would suggest if you want to do all 3, the best way to keep it nice and organized is to have 3 egg cartons. So for example, if I was going to do all 3, I would try and have 3 egg cartons. This one I would write soil experiment on the top. The next one I would do water experiment. And then the next one I would do the sunlight experiment. So I know and I can track and I don't have to remember a bunch of things. So that's what I would do. Another option is using these. All right, so that is how you complete step 4. Now for step 5, that is when you take all your knowledge and everything that we did today and you put it all together and you are going to grow your own garden. So for growing your own garden, it might be a little difficult right now because there's still the chance of frost and a lot of things that we put in the ground won't survive. So for example, I planted things over this weekend when we had really good weather, but I had to pay attention to everything I put in the ground. And if anything didn't stay good over 30 degrees, then I didn't put it in the ground because I don't want to lose it. So you have to make sure that you're reading your plants. So you can do this by using the 6 plants that you identified if you wanted to. You could try growing the 6 ones that you found. Or you could just go to a nursery or a greenhouse or a friend's garden and you can get 6. Sometimes I know I have friends and neighbors that will take stuff out of their garden all the time that's maybe taken over their garden, and they'll ask me, oh, do you want some of these? Do you want some daffodils? And sometimes I take them, sometimes I don't. But you are going to get 6 plants. So whether you retransplant them from somewhere else, whether you grow them inside in your seed starter and then wait and put them outside, or you go to a nursery or you have mom and dad pick them up for you, that's what you're going to do. So you can plant an outdoor garden, you can plant an indoor garden, or you can help, when stuff starts opening up, you can go help at community gardens or school gardens, or even offer to help some of the plants at your church. If you have a garden outside your church or your school or any community place that you go to, that's how you complete step 5. So I hope you had fun learning about gardening and plants and all the different things that you can do. And I look forward to seeing and hearing about which seeds you decided to plant. Another thing that you can do is, Mother's Day is coming up. These are super awesome if you have them because you can write on them and you can get something growing for your mom and you can make it for her and give it to her. You can start with vegetables inside and you can start growing your vegetables for the next 6 to 8 weeks inside until it gets a lot warmer out. You can start doing carrots or peppers or green beans are super easy, and maybe make something for your mom that way. A lot of people have these, just basic planters. You can get them at the dollar store. You could always make a couple of these, and then you don't want them leaking all over, so you can line them up in here and maybe decorate the outside, and you can give it to your mom for Mother's Day. It's a super awesome idea, or grandma. Decorate the outside or paint it and then fill it up with a bunch of different plants that you can give her, and it saves her some time, and before you know it, give it a month or two and you'll start seeing, everything start growing and some yummy vegetables. Well, thanks for joining me today for completing step 3 and 4 of the Junior Gardener Badge. I can't wait to see the things that you guys plant. Happy planting!